What's up, friends? I am RanDee Camille, and this is Sports Society. And I'm so excited about the episode that we have today because I am bringing somebody who has been able to translate life and sports and training into some phenomenal facets. And you are going to really get some information and some knowledge on how to be great, how to be successful, and what it means to really work hard and do the things that are necessary to be great. And without further ado, I have my friend here, LJ Harrison, that's in the building with us. Yeah. And I'm so excited. I know, like, give her a round of applause. But I have to start with saying we did not start off as friends. Even though we are here.
It was rough. It was rough.
Listen, LJ, I want to say he's the reason I stopped refereeing men's leagues, but it was in part.
Yeah, it was rough.
He was playing.
It was rough.
I was refereeing. And we did not get along.
We didn't.
Whatsoever.
We did.
It was.
We did.
Whatsoever. So, funny story that is attached to that. I'm ashamed to say this, and I don't think I've ever admitted this to you. I probably was the only person in the city of Detroit who didn't know you and your brother.
That's fine because
I mean, and when we get to more of the story, people will know why. Everybody's gonna know who you are anyway. And I was talking to somebody about me having to go to a referee camp and lose some weight, and I didn't want to think no more. I was like, I wish I could find a really good trainer to just tell me what to do and I could do it. And Ray, as a matter of fact, Ray Kelsler, who referees as well, he said, why don't you just go to LJ? I was like, first of all, I don't like LJ, first and foremost. And LJ does not like me. And secondly, I'm like, he trains what? Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, his brother is a world-class boxer. He trains his brother. He trains all these kids and boxers, and they got a gym. And I'm like, LJ? That just go to show how much we just want friends. I said, yeah, LJ. And I never forget, I was refereeing you guys, and we were having a good day for whatever reason.
Would.
Maybe because it was about to be a new year. We was having a really good day.
I remember that. We were talking like a mud.
We was talking. We was friends. I was like, okay. I heard you got a gym. I need to lose some weight. And you was just like, yeah, okay. People always say that, but they don't show up.
That's what I say.
He was like, damn.
That's what I say.
And I said, okay, I'm going to hit you up.
That's what I say. Yeah, that's what I say.
And actually came. It showed up. And I thought we was going to almost get into it again because I felt like you was treating me like I was an athlete.
I normally try to break people when they first come, especially the first time.
The first time, I was like, I know I'm out of shape.
Yeah.
But also, I'm an athlete, so treat me accordingly.
No, you hung in there.
Yeah, but we're friends now.
Yeah.
We got through the training experience. I lost all that weight.
You did.
Became a D1 official.
You was on your.
Listen.
But you had a goal, too.
I had a goal, and I was focused.
You had a goal.
Now I got more goals.
Yeah.
I know I had slipped away from the gym, but now I'm coming back.
Waiting on you.
And so.
Oh, they tell you that. Every time you leave, I'm like, I'm waiting on you.
He said, just wait. So
I'm waiting on you.
We're going to be good.
Yeah, you know I
We're
ain't
going to be
nowhere.
right back because I got some more goals, so we got to stay on point.
I got you.
Well, okay. Now we got that all out the way. Let's talk about your story. I just want to talk a little bit about you in sports, how you got started, where you played, and let's just grow from there.
Well, I mean, really, like, sports is my life. Yeah. It's just my family. That's just what we did. My dad, my granddad was a pro boxer. My mom and dad were both was athletes. You know what I'm saying? And my cousins, my uncles. That's all we did. Sports. I think probably like when I was around 5 or 6, as long as I can remember. And everybody pretty much noticed, like, my dad used to get us up at like 5 in the morning, literally. The only time we didn't run was if it was raining, but if it was snowing or cold or hot.
At 5 and 6?
5 and 6. It's literally as far as I can remember.
That's
and
when
my
people
dad,
tell us we spoiled, because my daddy used to drive us to school. But we was also girls, though, so I don't know if that means it's a little different. We was like 5 blocks from the school,
it's a little different.
He took us every day, but yeah.
But so, like we were saying, so my middle school was Winship.
Yeah.
And I stayed on, obviously I stayed on Coy on 7 Mile, so it was like everything in Peterson Park. That's what we ran every morning. So it wasn't like far where we had, we just got up, walked a block down to the park and ran. And that was as far as I can remember. And that was the start of, I think the main thing of my mind of being accountable and being an athlete. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing that stuck with me. And since then, it's just been sports.
Yeah.
Sports.
Sports. Yeah. So then how did basketball become the sport?
Basketball became the sport because I'm mad I got to tell the story, but I'm going to keep it real. So I had to been like 8 or maybe like my daughter's age, like 10. And me and Tony was sparring downstairs. My dad used to have us like spar because I always knew how to box.
Yes.
And I remember one time, Tony is my little brother. He hit me one time with the right hand, and my head hit the pole. And I told myself then, I'm not boxing for real. I told myself then. And I tell that, don't nobody know that story, but we sparred.
That's a great story.
It was like my dad was downstairs judging us, and we was boxing and sparring, and my dad was coaching, like, no, you know that. And Tony hit me, my head hit the pole, and I kept going, but I told myself in my mind, like, basketball is what I'm going to do.
Basketball is gonna be it.
I was like, boxing gonna be like second or third.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So like when I was like 10, 11, basketball became the sport for me.
The sport.
Yeah.
And then, so going from there, you went to Southwestern High School.
Yep.
Right? And then talk about your journey from being at the high school to led you to college, and then kind of going into that pro career after that.
Well, honestly, my first year, I went to Commerce High School.
You went to Commerce?
Yeah, I went to Commerce.
You didn't even have a gym. Did you have a gym?
We didn't have a gym. We used to play. We used to play at Todd Phillips.
Yes.
That was our home gym.
Todd Phillips. I literally was trying to figure out that gym with my dad the other day. I just know if you got off that exit, it's slow.
You gotta
go slow, or you're gonna get in a car accident.
Go slow on Elhurst.
You gotta go slow.
Come up, and you gonna go right through the trees.
You gonna go through the trees. Okay, so you went to Commerce.
I went to Commerce, and then my freshman year, we used to play Renaissance. That's when I first played, and that's when I realized.
Respectfully, y'all had to get smashed as well.
Oh, we got.
Because I know the error.
We got done in.
I was like, and I know that messed with your competitive nature, but that's okay.
But this was the first time, too, honestly, I tell them, too, this is the first time I was actually starstruck. Like, I was like, because to me, Malik and Joe and them was like,
sure.
And when I actually got on the court with them guys, I'm 13. I'm like, wow, like, this crazy. Like, and they out there,
Just doing everything, yeah.
But I went to Commerce my freshman year, and then I went to Southwestern my last 3. And I had good years out there. I think it was like a shock because I'm from 7 Mile Greenfield. I didn't know nothing about Southwest.
Yeah.
So when I go out there, it's Mexicans, it's white kids, black kids, and we all just, it was tough. And I felt like I was always an underdog. I was always in the paper. I always did 20, 25, 30s, but I always felt like nobody really paid attention to that or respected that in a sense. So that was, my mindset was like eat, like anytime I could, like. Right. I was trying to kill something, you know what I'm saying?
Gonna go at
it. Like or any guy I see, you know what I'm saying? And that got me to college. I didn't really have like a lot of, I didn't have no offers, to tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? So I tell my kids, I'm a firm believer of like, I think my energy got me to college.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like my energy and my efforts that I put into my craft got me to college.
I tell people, even though my father played college basketball and he was drafted by the Pistons, got cut, he never even talked to me about like college and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I think he just kind of set in an old school mindset because I was a woman, because I was a girl, right? And then as I started getting good, he was like, wait a minute. Like,
it could be something.
Like, you can really play. And then people was like, she can go to school for free. But in his mind, he was like, all right, I've been prepared to pay for you to go to school.
Right.
Like, we good, whatever. And they like, why would you pay for her to go to school?
And she can get it for free.
Yeah, she can go for free. Mm-hmm. And then that's when the trajectory kind of changed in his mind. And even for me, but I was just like, I'm playing. Like, it don't matter. Like,
I'm about to play.
I'm going to play. And nobody going to be better than me. So, like,
real.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So it's crazy because a lot of what we'll talk about later is I don't even know. So many people come up to me and be like, how can you teach my daughter to like work hard and, have that same type of dog that you have? And I was like, you can't teach that. I don't know. But,
it gets tricky because a lot of the kids that I get, obviously the earlier the better. Like I said, my mindset changed when I was 5, when my dad used to hold me accountable.
Sure.
Like, it was a lot of times I didn't want to run, you know what I'm saying? And I've never been a distance runner, you know what I'm saying? So when I'm watching Tony and my dad just murder me, like I'm all the way in the back.
They just going forever,
They going,
right?
and I'm pouting at my daddy hitting me like, stop, you know what I'm saying? And he hold me accountable, like, or you're not gonna do nothing if you know what I'm saying? So I think it's harder when I get a lot of kids, when I get them like in 11th and 12th grade to work hard. Then it get a little more tricky, but if you can catch them early, you just gotta just drill it in their head. But I think the main thing that I do that helps me get kids tougher and mentally is I hold them accountable.
Right.
Same thing my dad did to me. I just hold them accountable. Like, I tell all of them, I don't need you, right? I tell every athlete, I don't need you. Mm-hmm. I don't care where you're going. I don't care what your ranking is. When you come in here, it's a standard of how I need you to perform.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I've kicked plenty of kids out. They end up coming back with a parent say, hey, he can either, come on. And I say, okay, come on, let me see if it's a change. And normally it'd be a change because the parents know, the kids know, I don't need y'all. I love y'all genuinely. I want y'all to do good, but I don't need y'all. I'm not going to beg you. I'm not going to chase you. I'm not gonna do none of that. You know what I'm saying?
And I think it ties back into your story and going back to, you were saying you didn't have any offers, right? And so how do you end up at the college that you were at, and you coming out of high school, you a senior, and you like, where am I gonna go?
Literally, I got a call on my birthday, June 30th, in the middle of the summer. I didn't even know the number. I just answered it. It was a JUCO in Colorado, and I said, yeah. Like you want to go play? And I was like, yeah. I'm with my brother and Mills. We playing football in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm 18, 17.
1 o'clock in the morning.
It's literally it's literally 1 o'clock. That's what we always did though. Like
right.
we literally playing football in the middle of the street. I'm sweating. I'm like, hello, breathing. Like this Lloyd. I'm like, yeah. He like, I got a scholarship for you if you want to take it. And I was like, bet. When you want me to leave? He's like, next week. I ran in the house. I packed my bag.
It was gone.
And I was on a Greyhound 3 days later, 17 from Detroit. I caught it all the way to Salt Lake. Yep, Salt Lake.
Some of the best water in the world.
Amazing out there.
It's amazing. You can just
drink
it straight out
amazing.
The state.
Like right out the yeah. And that's my story. That's how I got to college. And again, like my mindset was different. I went out there and I just was eating. Yeah. I went out there. We had Derek Reynolds. It was like 5 Detroit kids. It was like Derek Reynolds.
He was used to getting kids from Detroit.
Yeah. I don't know how he did it. Jerome Tyson from Redford was out there. I was the only one that stayed the whole time. Everybody else either left or got kicked out. I was the only one that stayed the whole time. You know what I'm saying? So my mindset was just like, I'm going to get this, like, it's going to get done. You know what I'm saying?
How was it leaving home for the first time? I was telling in a previous podcast that I had that when I left, because I went to University of Detroit first, and then I went out to Vegas, went to UNLV, and I hate admitting this to people, but I cried like a baby. I was like, this is the dumbest decision I ever made in my life. I'm leaving. I mean, I was still that kid that when stuff ran out of my dorm, I went home and my mama had it all at the door. I had tissue, toothpaste, like all this stuff. And so now I'm out in Vegas and I'm like, well, where is the stuff? And my mom's like, well, you got to go to Walmart, man. You got to buy it. Yeah. And so I grew up, though. It was the best decision I ever made to leave. How was that experience leaving home from the first time going from Detroit to Colorado?
Amazing.
Yeah.
I remember, a lot of people don't know, like, if it's a movie called Shawshank Redemption. It's like one of my favorite movies. Like when he got out of prison and he was on that bus on the Greyhound at the end and he was just like excited. Yeah. That's how I was. Like I was on a Greyhound. I was literally 17. I had like 5 big duffel bags. Yeah. And I'm just out the window like, damn, I ain't never seen a playing field. I ain't never seen.
Right.
And I was happy. And I got there. I was like, it was just a change of scenery. But my mama always told me I was gonna go away. You know what I'm saying? She put that in my head, like, you ain't staying here, you going away for something.
I love your mama because she tough.
She a dog.
She is.
Yeah, she a dog. Yeah, she a dog. She like, you was not staying here. So when it came, I was like just ready. You know what I'm saying? And I got out there, it was terrible. It was like probably 400 people in that whole city. It was like I was an hour away from everything, but I was like kicked up. I was chilling. I just worked out all day. That's all I did. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it was cool, but it was a good experience I needed because I got to like, to experience a different side of the country. And,
correct.
You know what I'm saying? I knew how to learn how to talk to different type of people and, you know what I'm saying, being on my own, shopping and cooking, so.
Yeah, because I went to the West Coast and they were like, you got a Southern accent.
Yeah, they always say that, though.
What? I said, y'all must never heard nobody from down
for real.
South. And they like, no, you sound real
Every place I went, they like, you from down South? I'm like, no, I'm from Detroit. They're like, you sound like you from down South. I'm like, no.
It was between that and how many dead bodies have I seen? And I was like, ooh, I don't.
I'm
not a murderer.
Yeah,
I don't
always,
know. Like,
that's always. But I did, I went to school like Gary Kidd, Chicago. So we always, I fought in JUCO every day. I fought every day, and I didn't care if I won or lost. I was fighting them because I'm like, yeah, I was going hard. I was fouling people. That's how I like.
That is how you play.
Yeah, I'm like, what's up? Yeah, so it was like, I'm from Detroit. They like, I'm from Chicago. I said, well, well, let's see then. Let's see what
Yeah.
What's up?
Let's see what goes.
It was one of those.
At that point.
Yeah, and that's how I got the respect of like just. All of them, you know what I'm saying? But it was a good experience, though. Like, I enjoyed my whole journey, but I feel like, a lot of kids I train is kind of in my position. Yeah. They might feel like they not looked at or they don't got no offers, but I always tell them, like, you got to balance that with your effort and your sense of urgency of trying to master your craft.
Right.
Because that's how I truly believe in my heart, that's how I magically got up one call out the middle of the night. You know what I'm saying? It's just the energy I put into it. It came back when it was supposed to.
Right.
And from there, I took off. I had a good 4 years. I went to Clarion. I had 2 good years. Then over there, I went overseas, and I got all that with no agent. My dad went into basketball. So I got that I felt like just me
just sitting in it.
Just doing it.
Yeah, I tell the story. The most infamous time that me and my dad got into it was he was coaching me in middle school. And I was in 7th grade, and all the parents had came in, 8th grade parents.
Mm-hmm.
And they was like, you don't be playing your daughter because it's your daughter and she not good and this and that. He said, I tell you what. He said, RanDee, put your shoes back on. You going to play all them to 2. And if she lose to anybody, I quit today. And then y'all can have it. I was like, I'm not doing that. And he was like, oh, you have no choice. And he was like, and don't lose. And I didn't even know how that was tapping into my competitive nature because now I'm mad at him.
Right.
I'm mad at them. So I'm like, everybody getting it.
Right.
Right? So I ran through all them girls. I got all my stuff and I went in the car because I'm hot. And he get in the car and he like, you'll be fine. Thank you. You know, all this. I go home to my mama. I'm like, Daddy made me play all these girls and this and that. First thing come out of her mouth, she was like, did you win?
Did you? That's it.
I was like,
That's
I'm
it.
done with all y'all.
Yeah,
I don't want
it.
to talk to nobody
That's
no
it.
more. We
That's
ain't
it.
friends no more for the
That's
rest
it.
of the night. But we laugh about the story today. But he said, I always knew you were competitive, but you just didn't know.
You just didn't know.
Then he said, and in that moment, it was a perfect time to only show you, but also to let them know, like, she can play.
Yeah.
And it was funny, a lot of those girls ended up at Renaissance with me. And I was way better than them, but that's a whole nother situation for another day. But turning back to that, so now we've talked about before how your pro career didn't go how you thought it would or wanted it to. And it led to you, you know, back home. And let's talk about how you even got into training and being with the kids.
I think it was a time where, like I said, you know, I played overseas for like 2 years. It wasn't long, but it was a stretch where at that time my brother was starting to really rise, like as far as his stock in his career. And I just remember being overseas and I kind of made myself like, I said, okay, you got this far literally based off your effort. I mean, I strongly believe that. And I told myself, you're not going to get to the NBA, right? It's like, realistically, you're not going to get to the NBA. Do you want to stay overseas and play for $2,000 a month, you know? And I said, no. I'd rather put my energy into my brother and watch him grow and blossom. It's my little brother. He got a chance. So came back home, you know, and we bought the gym. And I remember telling the story of when we bought the gym, I had one client. She was a female, and I charged her $60 a month, and she was coming like every day. She was the only one. That was the first person I ever trained. But just my effort, just since I was a kid, just drove me to. That's just who I am.
Right.
I go hard. So even if I start from here, I'm gonna end up there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now I got all this, you know, crazy stuff going on.
So all this is going on. So now, I mean, any kid that's remotely anything in the city, you training them at this point, right? You got boys and girls, but especially with these boys, which I think is phenomenal to have. And even in this conversation, you talk a lot about your dad and what he instilled in you and your brother. And I think that's so important because oftentimes, especially with black men, they only want to expend the narrative that the dad's nowhere around, right? The dad don't take care of their kids. The dad is nowhere, and it's the only reason why they're successful, right? Not because the dad was there helping. Let's just like talk about, you know, what your dad meant to you in this process or means to you in this process, and also how you instill that same thing in the kids, because you do get kids that don't have
some of
their
them don't
father,
have their father,
but they have some that do, that trust you to say, okay, like, here, you get him together because I whatever.
I think, my dad was huge to my development and my brother's development. Like, you know, he allowed, I think the main thing is he allowed us to be kids. He allowed us to be kids. My body was built for long term. Like, so in a sense, it was like, you know, even if I played a game at Southwestern or whatever I was doing, when I came home, I went back outside. Like I said, I played football with my boys. You know what I'm saying? All night. Like, and I'm not even exaggerating. Like, we should be out till 2, 3 in the morning playing football. But my dad never said nothing because he held me accountable. So as long as I got up and was able to go to school and handle my stuff, he let me be a boy.
Right.
So, you know, and then when I got up, I was racing. We was betting on racing and, you know, who can win. So my dad was just a huge part of, like, making my body build and my mind built for long term. So, you know, even if it was like, I feel like somebody was better at that moment, I knew I was going to end up further. And I think my dad mentally was huge, like having a father that really understanding, that played it. My dad was a pro athlete too. You know, I think he knew just holding me and my brother accountable is major. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the kids I got, some of them, their dads are there, and I think it's good. I just think the only time, like I tell them, a lot of them, they not letting them be kids. You know what I'm saying? So like they'd play a game, and then they say, oh, well, my son, you know, he need an ice bath. He's not gonna train tomorrow. And I'm like, he's 15.
He's 15. What do you mean he can't train tomorrow, right?
What do you mean? Like, he's 15. He's 14. Like,
right.
he's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I think he scraped his knee. He fell.
Yeah.
Like,
he's okay.
He all right. Yeah, like, you know, so they got to let him be kids. Like, my dad allowed me to be a kid, so I bumped and bruised, go back out there. Don't come in this house and go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and then you learn how to win outside. There's a lot of stuff you learn how to do when you letting your child be a kid. You know what I'm saying? But having a dad there is like, you know, it's everything to me. It was everything to me. So when we lost him, it was hard. It was big. But, you know, we was prepared because of everything he instilled.
Yeah, and I think that's major, and I'm a huge daddy's girl.
Yeah.
I'm named after my father, and so everybody knows, like, the two RanDees come in the building, and even my mom, she's just like, when the both of us together, she like, I'm so glad you over here so you can watch this game with your daddy, and I can go on about my business, but it was just a lot that was associated with that, and even when I went away, people had that automatic assumption that I didn't know who my daddy was, and I'm like, what?
Crazy,
like, that's the main, you know, person in my life, and I just think it's powerful for people to hear that, and it made me think, I mentioned to you earlier, because it was an interview with Kyrie Irving, and the guy was like, oh, you playing with LeBron, is LeBron a father figure to you? And Kyrie was like, repeat the question. And he said it again, he said, was he a father figure? He was like, a father figure? I got a daddy.
Yeah,
my daddy is this, but he is a leader, and I look to him for leadership. And I just think it's powerful for people to be able to hear that and to also dive into it, but to also hear the part where you say, you got to let them be kids. Yeah. Because I see it too much. They be talking about, I had a top kid, a class of 2030. What's going to be the situation? So now you're training people. You talk about your brother a lot, who's a world-class boxer. You have trained other world-class boxers and won championships and got belts. So what does it mean to you to have these athletes under you in the work that you do?
It's like, I don't know, it get tricky with me sometimes because I don't really, I mean, like, when I won my first belt, it's like once you win something at that level, like, because it don't get no higher than the championship that I'm winning. So, like, once you win it and then once it's over, it really don't mean nothing. Like, it's hard to explain, but, like, you know, it's kind of like, all right, you won it, but it's like, in the sense of like how people care about you, it don't mean nothing. It just don't mean nothing. So I genuinely care. I put more into the person that I'm training. Like, how are they turning out as far as like they character.
Yes.
But like, you know, do they really want it? Like, you know, like if you win it, are you willing to put the work in to, you know, keep it again? You know what I'm saying? So it's just I just care. I like the people that I try. I like to be intimate with who I'm training, and I like to get to know them and, you know, put the time into the kids or the athletes.
Yeah.
So just, you know, it's more about that than the actual
just the winning, the championship.
Yeah, the actual. Now the winning, obviously, I like to win.
Well, obviously, I mean, nobody wants to lose.
Yeah,
Not
I
in
like
it to lose.
Yeah, I like to win, but it's just a different feeling because, like, when I won, and, you know, and then you happy, and then like the next day it's like,
all right, now you got to go back to training. Like, so, now
so it's like, all right, okay, well, all right, and everybody back to down, you know, earth, and everything settled down, and it's like, so I kind of learned that, like, you know, once it ain't really about the winning, it's just more about, like, you know, like I said, just holding them accountable. Can they keep the same level of intensity? Can they keep the same sense of urgency? Can they keep the same hunger? Can they keep the same goals?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Can they grow still? So that's more I like to focus on.
And that's how you guys focus. I mean, I shouldn't say focus, but how you function through life. Because if they get to meet you and Tony at any time, y'all will walk around, talk to everybody, laugh with everybody, play with whoever. It's just like, okay, we no different from nobody else.
Nobody
you know
else.
what I'm saying? You might see us on TV this night, but then after that, we right back at the gym, we right back with the kids. We giving out free food to people in the community, and all of that is just, you know, phenomenally
I take pride in that. It was a guy I was training, like, he come in the morning, and I talk to him every morning. I was, what's up, OG, how you doing? He came to me the other day, he said, man, I know that this was your gym, and you was it. I said, yeah. He said, bro, thank you, man. You speak to me every day. You kept me going, and I think for me that's what it's about. Like, I don't have to walk around like, you know, like I like to just build with people. You know what I'm saying? I've always been that way. Like, my dad always told me that. My mom, you know, we gonna be like involved with the community and stuff like that. So I've always been like, just even my brother, we always just, you know, we like to just kick it. You know what I'm saying? Just kick it. Just because, you know, talk our little stuff and you know, compete in there. We gonna have fun and so it's been a journey though. It's definitely been a journey.
So talking about accountability in the gym and everything, I have seen you train athletes and the kids and all that stuff. And I love the gym environment because everybody has each other's back, right?
Mm-hmm.
People talk trash, they do stuff, but ultimately in the gym, when you in there, it actually gives you the energy to want to work harder,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because everybody around you is getting it in.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you help your athletes? How do you help the kids navigate through life when they're not at the gym or not on the court? Because a lot of these kids now are angry and they have a lot of things that's going on. So how do you help them to navigate outside of the actual playing field?
I think for me the biggest thing is support. You know what I'm saying? I think I like to keep it like real authentic with all my athletes, right? So I tell them that for me, support is the biggest thing because in my situation where a lot of the family members that I grew up with, I don't speak to anymore. Solely on the reason because you know, you grow, or you know, like I said, I got cousins and family members that's in high school and they don't train with me. But I chose, once I realized that like your family move a certain way, I chose to make the gym my family. So I like to support. I try to tell them, you know, family is big, no matter what shape or form you want that family to be. You know what I'm saying? So I try to go to all my athletes' games. I don't just like have a favorite. Like I go to all their games. I try to support them. I try to move a certain way myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't get into trouble. I'm not like out here moving a certain way. So when they see me or they see my brother, they know they have family and they have to act accordingly. You know what I'm saying? I think being a professional, which they all want to do, I train them for that now. Okay, so you're gonna be professional. You gotta be on time. You know what I'm saying? When you out in public, speak to people. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know who that person may be. You never know who you bumping shoulders with. So it's just things that I just feel like if all y'all goal is to be a professional athlete, then you have to be on time. You got to handle your business. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a solid team around you. You got to have family around you that genuinely cares about you. You know what I'm saying? So them just a few things that I try to always teach to my kids. Just being accountable, just being professional, just being on time, being mannerable. You know, speaking to people, being somebody that's active in the community that, you know, somebody can come and talk to. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't run from these responsibilities.
You can't run from it. And I think that's big for leaders to hear as well, because I was at a game and the coach had on pajama pants and he was the head coach. And I just about fell out my seat. I mean, I said, pajama pants, this what you have on? I mean, you can't tell the kids to do nothing. You can't tell them to come dress right, tuck their shirt in. You can't do nothing if the head coach has on pajama pants.
I handle business. So that's what they see that with me.
Right.
Like I talk to them, but they know I handle business. Like all my athletes, we getting like massages. I handle business. Like I treat my athletes like professionals. Like, you know, okay, this what you want, this is what you expect when we travel. We're gonna travel in style, we're gonna travel the best. I'm paying whatever for my athletes to be like, you know, feel like they're a professional athlete. But you gotta handle your responsibilities as well. You know what I'm saying? I think in life too, like outside of sports, it helps them understand like, you know, you just gotta handle your business. If you say something, you gotta do it. Like if you mean something, then you gotta do it. If it's something that you don't like, then say that. You know what I'm saying? But you just handle yourself like adult should, like a professional adult should.
I mean, you even treated me the same when I came in and I laid out what my goal was. I was like, I'm trying to get to D1 basketball, do this, do that. It was like your whole trajectory had changed. And you like, and every time I was being lazy, someone rang you like, you ain't gonna get it this way. Like, come on, RanDee, like, let's go. I know you tired. I don't know, whatever. Like, come on. And I mean, it just makes a difference.
And you was working,
and working.
You was working, like you had goals, and I'm like, so if we got goals, let's go get them. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And we got them.
Yeah, we got them.
There.
And we got them.
And flipping into that, just talking about the gym. Okay, first of all, boxing, being in the ring is one of for me, the hardest training I had ever had. Right?
I agree too.
Because I can lift, I can run, I've done all that. And really, when I was in my prime, you couldn't get me to stop working out when I was just playing, right? And 2 minutes in the ring felt like it was the rest of my life was over.
That's the worst 2 minutes.
I'm dead. Like I was like, I'm like, this is the worst 2 minutes.
Yeah, you only got 2. It's really 3.
It is. Jeez, it's really 3.
You only got 2 minutes. It's really 3 minutes.
And that's even worse. But to even think about it, and I'll even tell people, I say, and I'm not even having to play defense, right? Like I'm just
you
punching.
On the
I'm just
part.
punching the offensive part. So I can't imagine trying to avoid somebody knocking my head off.
Trying to kill you for
at
real.
the same at the same time. And I think the first time I saw you training Tony, I was like, oh, he hit hard as hell.
Yeah, they punching like it's tough.
Shit, like
it's
how
tough.
do they even
get through that?
It's tough. So what's some of the things you got going on in the gym now like, what is your kind of process? Where's your mindset? Where's the gym going for you?
I think right now the next step for us is we got another side of that building. We getting it right now to put a basketball court in there, full court.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we're in the process of getting that done. I think that would kind of complete, for me, my bigger picture, because now I got somewhere where kids can live. You know, I got somewhere where they can, you know, put up their shots. You know, we got a boxing ring so it's kind of like a more multi thing. So that's really next. But I mean, for the most part, you know, we just trying to keep it where, you know, first we just trying to change the athlete mentality.
Yes.
Now that's the first thing we got going on in there. Just, you know, holding everybody accountable, like I've been saying, and you know, that's really it. Just making sure they come in there, they got a place where they can feel comfortable, where they can feel family, where they can get somewhere to work hard, you know. And then as far as expanding, it's just we working on that gym that we should be getting done within the next year or two.
No, I'm so excited to see it.
That'll be, once we get that, it's going to be,
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy.
Why is boxing the best way to train?
Because really boxing, for one, it's going to tell you a lot about yourself,
Yeah.
you know. And I think for me, boxing was good for me because even when it was times in basketball games where I was tired, it always took me back to a place where I could still move, I could still cut, I could still jump, I could still shoot.
Yeah.
Mentally, I'm tough enough to push through that. And I know mentally you haven't trained like I've trained. So I know you don't do boxing. I know you ain't been hit in that ring. So you don't know nothing about really what it takes to, when you really got to bite down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
In boxing, you get hit, you're supposed to keep going.
You're supposed to keep
Basketball,
going.
you get hit, everything.
Timeouts.
You know, it's timeouts. You get them off the court. You go see the trainer. Like everything stops.
Yeah, but
boxing is okay.
Boxing is, and then it's coordination, it's conditioning, it's agility, it's, you know, it's IQ. You got to put everything together in that ring. You know what I'm saying? So I think for me it was just good. Just, you know, with you, like we should do band on your ankles and you got to cut, bro. You know, so it's just like you look up in a month, you moving all over the place.
Right.
And you don't even realize
I was
it.
back to box jumping.
Yeah,
like,
you don't even realize it. Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, I'm about to go hoop again.
Yeah,
I was like,
you
nah, I ain't
don't
gonna take it that far. But
you look up and you like, man, I'm jumping again. Like,
Yeah,
okay.
like,
So
okay.
yeah, boxing is tough, but you know, I try to give the basketball guys that too every once in a while just for their conditioning and stuff, something different.
Absolutely. Well, kind of wrapping up and thinking about some stuff, I absolutely love your stories with you and your brother, but one thing that you guys do, I don't think I've seen two people more competitive playing chess. And if you follow either one of them on Instagram, and just this week alone, Tony done went live, I think, every day
like every other day,
y'all going at it in chess. Where did that even start? And how is it even in that space?
Because, you know, chess is like it's really competitive because it's in the sense of like, you know, you could lose to a guy in sports and he might hit a lucky buzzer beater or something like that. But for me, as a man, that another man just had to sit here and outthink me, that really hurts my feelings.
Yeah.
Like, that hurts my feelings that my brother sat there and just was 2 steps ahead of me mentally. Like, I hate that. Like, I hate losing the chess. I hate losing the chess.
I mean, because y'all go at it.
I be mad. We really be mad.
Yeah,
like,
y'all really be mad. Don't talk to each other. You be walking away. Y'all be following each other in the gym like, why you mad? Why you want to talk?
You know, it didn't make it worse. Like, we might bet $100 this game, and so I'm losing money and I'm losing my IQ. So it's like, it hurts. It hurts. So that's why when we win, you know, so.
So maybe that'd be the next challenge. You teach me how to play chess. I hate to admit that I don't know how to play
chess. But chess is an amazing game. It's like to me, it's like, I ain't never had a game outside of sports that just chess is like, because there's a million different ways you can win that. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time. You know, I really appreciate you coming
and
dropping those gems.
Yeah,
and before we go, the whole thing is, you know, this is Sports Society, so all we ask is trust. So what's the one thing that you can leave with people or athletes, whatever, that they can trust you with if they stick to that it's going to be gold for them?
You can trust me with your career. I know that. That's all I know. You can trust me with you can trust me with your career because I win.
Yes.
No, I'm gonna win.
It's proven.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there it is. Well, thank you. I got LJ Harrison. I'm RanDee Camille, and this is Sports Society. All right. Sweet.
I couldn't think of nothing but career. That came to my mind.
Career is it though? Like, that was perfect though.
That came
That's
to my mind. What's up, man?
Right, you can trust me with that.
With your career?
That was good.
Like that's.
I couldn't think of nothing else. That came on the fly.
It's good.